Hi, I'm Dr Sanchita Chowdhury, educational and child psychologist, and today we're going to talk a little bit about managing grief in young children. Talking about grief isn't easy. What might children understand at different ages, and how do we start the conversation? Let's start by thinking about what children experience at different ages. In infants, the concept of death is experienced as an absence. When children reach the age of between 3 and 5, the child sees death as impersonal. Death has got to do with not being alive, and death is a temporary state. There can also be some egocentric beliefs. Granny died because I didn't visit her, which can be very upsetting to hear. From ages 5 to 9, the child becomes more aware of death. Children develop a fear at this point, and they can become particularly vulnerable to being overwhelmed by their feelings. From the age of 9 onwards, the understanding that death is irreversible begins to be consolidated and almost matches that of an adult. Children begin to approach mourning in the way that an adult would. So today I'm going to talk you through some of the guidance put together by charities such as Winston's Wish and my colleagues to help navigate some of the challenging conversations you may need to have with your children following or perhaps when you're expecting a difficult event. Whilst we've talked about children at different ages, it's important to remember that there are no rules for how we experience grief and that different feelings and thoughts will arise at different times regardless of age. Children and young people's initial reactions may range from great distress to what might seem to be unconcern. All of these and more are normal and do not mean that the child or young person is uncaring or reacting excessively. Younger children may experience grief by reacting very strongly one minute, for example sobbing, and then talking about daily life like what's for tea the next. It doesn't mean they care any less about what's happened. Some children or young people may experience some or all of the following to varying degrees. They may become anxious about being separated from their parents and carers for any reason, such as going to school, become fearful, clingy or anxious, may start to wet the bed or suck their thumb, or develop another babyish behaviour. They might develop a fear of the dark or engage in naughty or attention-seeking behaviour. They might have difficulties going to sleep or waking up, have nightmares or disturbing dreams, and develop physical symptoms such as headaches and tummy aches. They can also find it difficult to understand and want to ask questions. There can particularly be issues with wanting to go to school and finding it difficult to concentrate on school work. These are all normal reactions for children and young people, and adults may experience similar things. If a child or young person persists with some of these symptoms for a long period of time, say 6 months or more, then professional guidance from a psychologist or a child psychiatrist should be sought. The following may be helpful information for you. Expect questions, but don't feel pressured to give immediate answers. Some questions may need an honest and factual answer. For example, does everyone have to die? Some questions may seem more difficult, and you can begin by asking, what do you think? And building on their answer. This will aid their understanding. Always use clear language. Phrases such as gone to sleep or we have lost can be confusing for children. It's really important to not assume anything. Ask the child how they're feeling. Try to normalise the feelings that the child shares with you. They're probably worried that they're the only person who has ever felt this way, and it's okay to show that you're upset. You can provide reassurance and support in ways that feel right for you. This could be through listening or comforting words. Some general rules for supporting children and young people at different difficult times can include telling them what they need to know, giving them facts at a level they understand, being honest, not just about your feelings or what you believe to be the case. Tell them if you don't know the answer. Don't just make it up. Be prepared to challenge unfounded rumours, gossip, or lies. Reassure them that things will be all right, and tell them that things will get better eventually. Give them personal examples of how you have coped with problems, and remind them of all the things that won't be changing. It's important to keep the routines consistent and constant. Don't change the ordinary things that you do, and treats are fine, but not all the time. The child or young person's own space and time are really important, so it's important that they get to still go to their clubs and activities. Keep calm and don't panic about your own fears. If you are worried, share this with the adults in your family and not the children. Focus on practical advice for your children. Notice how you're being calm helps your child to calm down too. Sometimes it can be easy to overshare your worries and fears with your children, but it's important not to project your own fears. Be aware that children and young people react more to feelings than what they say they will. Find out if they're reacting more to your behaviour rather than the difficult event. If you can't separate your feelings from the event, maybe ask a partner, a relative, or a friend to talk to your child. It's very important to find enjoyable things for you all to do. However upsetting the event, you will all deserve enjoyable things to do. So don't put off planned treats because it's not the right thing to do. Little things such as reading at bedtime will still be really important to your child's routine. We also want to prioritise time to listen to and talk to young children. Try and find a time to chat without others interrupting. It's better to be doing something together, such as shopping, washing up, going for a walk, rather than having a face-to-face chat, which might feel a little bit intimidating if it's not something you usually do. Try to develop an attitude of, I'm interested, but it's okay if you don't want to talk. And some children will be different. They will want to talk at times and not want to talk at other times, and you do need to ask them about when it's appropriate and carry on asking if they're okay. Just be there. Plenty of hugs and cuddles. Keep on doing the ordinary things. Tell them how much you love them and how special they are to you. And keep up with the old stupid family jokes too. Hi, my name is Dr Sanchita Chowdhury and I'm an educational psychologist, also known as a school or a child psychologist. You can find me on Instagram @PsychTraveller or on LinkedIn as Dr Sanchita Chowdhury. I've just been filming some content with MindFriend. They're an educational, digital platform combating misinformation of mental health through accredited professionals. Keep an eye out for my upcoming content.